Okay, so we're starting with a quick chazara. Heyom and Beis, the second wide line, towards the end of the line. Gufa. Chizkiya kari b'Tverya bar Beis b'Chamesa. So we're going back on the text that we discussed before. The Chizkiya read the Megillah in Tverya on the 14th and the 15th because Mesapkalei, he was Mesupik, he was in doubt. He was in doubt, he was Mesupik if it was surrounded by a wall, if Tverya was surrounded by a wall in the times of Yeshivinin. In fact, the Gemara Mi Mesapkalei Milsa, the Tverya, is the city, the status of Tverya actually Mesupik. We have a pasuk that tells us V'arei Mivtzar Hatzadim Tzar V'chamas Rakas V'Kineres, listing all these cities. V'kaim alon, and the pasuk starts with Ar Mivtzar. These are the fortified cities. V'kaim alon, and we establish Rakas Tverya. That Rakas, one of these cities named Rakas, is actually Tverya. This is the reason why he was in doubt, why he was Mesupik. One of the walls surrounding Tverya is actually the water, the sea, the Kineres. So why was he Mesupik? Why was he in doubt? It's definitely not a wall. The Tanya, we learned in the Brisa about Beis Choima, Asher Loi Choima, that has a wall. Not a wall of water. Port? What, Igar means port? Dak. Oh, Dak. Loi Shor Igar. Saviv. Prat L'Tverya. Saviv, that has a wall Saviv around it, Prat L'Tverya. It is excluding Tverya, Sheyama Chaimasa. That the water, the Yam, is one of its walls. Regarding halachas of Beis Yerchaima, he wasn't Mesupik. Kikom Sapkale. What was he Mesupik? The Inyan Mikra Megillah. Dafka to the Inyan of reading the Megillah, he was Mesupik. What was the suffix? Because it's either walled or it's not walled. So the suffix is my prozim or my coffin. What do we consider walled cities and what do we consider open cities? The Ksiva got by Mikra Megillah, because it says by Mikra Megillah, Mishum Dahani Miglu, Vahani Loi Miglu. This that says by Mikra Megillah that the city has to be walled to read on the 15th. Is it because some of these are the open cities are that you could see into the city, and the walled cities that you can't see into the city? V'honami Miglaya. So this Tverya would be open on the side of the water that you'll be able to see in. Or maybe Mishum Dahani Mignu Vahani Loi Mignu. Maybe the suffix of what a walled city is, the halach of what a walled city is if it's protected or not protected. V'honami Miganya. Over here, Tverya is protected by the water. You can't go in. It's impenetrable. Mishum Hachi Masapkale. So regarding this, he was Mesupik. Rav Asi Kari Megillah b'Hutzal. Rav Asi read Megillah in the city called Hutzal, Bar Beis b'Chamesa, on 14th and the 15th. Why? Mesapkale, the same reason. Mesapkale Mikabes Chaima, Mimas Yishuv Benun Hi Eloi. He was Mesupik if it was surrounded by a wall in the times Yishuv Benun or not. Ika Amar, there are those that say, it's possible to say, Amar Rav Asi, that Rav Asi said, Hi Hutzal, the Beis Binyamin, this city, Hutzal, which is in the Nachla of Binyamin, of Shei Binyamin, Mikabes Chaima Mimas Yeshua Hi, was surrounded by a wall in the times of Yeshua, and therefore we would read Megillah on the 15th. So we're by Amr Rabbi Yochanan. So Hey Amud Beis, the last line of the page, and we're starting Hey Amud Beis. Amr Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, Ki havino talya, when I was a young man. Rashi says Nar. Talya, I believe, means a young sheep. Like basically what we would say a kid. A kid, I think, is a young sheep or a young goat.
It's a young goat.
It's a young goat, but a shefela, right, word that we use all the time. Shefela. Ki avinu talya, when I was a young man. Amina Milsa, I said something. I said a specific thing. The Sha'ina L'Savaya. Very interesting wording of this Gemara. But it's written like that, so that's how we learn it. I'm sure there's reasons. The Sha'ina L'Savaya, Amina Milsa, I said a thing, I said something. The Sha'ina L'Savaya, that I asked older people, I asked the Chachamim, older Chachamim about it. V'shtakach kavosei, and I saw it, we find that it was as I said it. What was this? Chamas Zutvarya. When the pasuk that we just learned talks about Chamas, it's talking about Cheveria. Veloma Nikra Shema Chamas. And why are we calling it Chamas if its name is Tverya? Al Shum Chamei Tveria, because of the hot springs of Tveria. That's something that made Tveria very famous. I think even till today it makes Tveria very famous. People go there from all over Israel and even other parts of the world. The hot springs of Tveria, they have brought down in different places.
Minerals.
Yeah, brought down in different places that it's for health. It's like a very good people that have certain health problems go there specifically. And it's brought down. I don't know if it's brought down enough, but definitely Mefarshim about Chamei Tveria. And clearly in the Gemara it's brought down.
Gemara Shabbos, they have cooking. It's considered cooking. Bishul.
Oh, Bishul because the water.
Yeah.
Okay, Al Shum Chamei Tveria. So that's why it's called Chamas. According to what Rabbi Yochanan is saying, that he asked and he found that Chamas is Tver. But Lama Nikol Shema Chamas, Al Shum Chamei Tver. Rakas, Zu Tzipori. When we say Rakas, what city are we talking about? The city is actually Tzipori. But Lama Nikol Shema Rakas. And why do we call it Rakas? Mishum Demidlaya Karaksa de Nahara. Because its elevation is high like that of a bank of a river. So what does it mean? The bank of the river is, like most places we have what we call a beach in our terminology, but the land, sometimes they make around the river or they make a dam. So it's usually higher, and the man-made, it's specifically higher because that way you keep the water where it's supposed to be and not where it's not supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So because Tzipori was elevated compared to other round, basically it sat on top of a mountain, so it had that name of Rakas, it had that nickname. Because it was Kiraksa Denhara, like the banks of a river. Kineres Zuginusar. Kineres, we're talking about Ginusar. Why was it named Kineres? The Masike Peira Kikala de Kinre. Because the fruits from that place, from Ginusar, were sweet. Kikala de Kinre. Kinar is a harp. The sound of a harp. The fruits were so sweet, like the sound of a harp. Amar Rava. So Rava said, Mi ikol laman da amar rakas lav tverahi. Is there actually anything to substantiate saying that rakas is not Tveria? I the ho ki shachav inish. Hacha. Now Rava was in Bavel. So when Rava says over here, he means in Bavel. If he was in North Miami Beach, he would mean North Miami Beach. But he was in Bavel. The ho ki shachav inish hacha. Over here, where when an Adam Gadol passes away, Hasam, over there in Tveria, Saftile Hachi. Over there in Tveria, they say a hesped, and they call out the hesped. So, is this car is going around in Yerushalayim, being machriz a hesped, has its roots in the Gemara, and this is not something that just started a couple hundred years ago. This is an old minig. And they did this in Bavel and in Tveria. Hachi Gadol hu b'Sheshach. How great was this person in Sheshach? Now Sheshach, the Gemara is referring to Bavel. There's where Aleph and Taf and Beis and Shin are interchangeable. So Sheshach was a nickname for Bavel. So the Shin is Beis. And the Chaf, the end of Chaf is Lamed. At Bash. V'shem loy berachas. Hachi gadol hu b'sheshach. How great was he in Bavel? V'shem loy berachas. And he has even a name in Tveria. V'chi maskei aroin l'hasam. And when they would bring the Aron over there to Tveria, Safti lehachi. This is how they would call out, for the hesped that come. I have a sridim yoshvei raka. So they would call out, to come for the hesped, come for the levaya. This is how they would call out. So, like now they use different, very specific lashonis, nafla teres rishenu, and there's like specific. So this is how they used to discuss the people who were great people that were in Bavel when they were brought back to be buried in Tveria. I have a Sridim, the lovers of Yisrael. Sridim seems to be the Talmidei Chachamim, but it's from a pasuk in Yirmiyah. Koyam Hashem Sridei Charav. Sridim is Yoshvei Rakas. Tu v'kablu, the lovers of Yisrael who live in Tveria, come out to v'kablu harugei oimek, and accept those that fell, that were killed from oimek. Oimek is a lashon of deep, depth, valley, but deep. Bavel is a valley. Bavel was a low elevation. Bavel in Iraq. Bavel is Baghdad, I think. I think Baghdad is pretty much.
Area, Barak, yeah.
It's Barak, but it's somewhere in Baghdad. But it seems like it has a very low elevation, Baghdad. I think the people from the Mabul maybe fell over there because it was a low point. So Harugei Oimek, the people from the deep valley. Kinoch nafshei de Rabbi Zeira, when Rabbi Zeira was nifter, pasach aleho ha'uhu savdona. A gewisse person who would give haspedim, I guess they had a thing like we have a batchin. I guess they had specific people they would hire to give haspedim. And this safdon, this person who was getting up and giving a hasped, he said, Eretz Shinar, which is Bavel, the land of Shinar, which is Bavel, Hara V'Yolda, Eretz Tzvi Gidla Sha'ashueha. Eretz Shinar, the land of Shinar, the land of Bavel, conceived and gave birth. Eretz Tzvi, the land of the Hesh, which is Eretz Yisrael, obviously, Gidla Sha'ashueha, raised up its Sha'ashueha shall Eretz Shinar. Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't mean offspring. It means it's like a keli, like somebody has the art scroll. I want to. Chaimi, what's the Sha'ashueha? What is what? Like Lua Torah Sha'ashueha. It's
Eretz Tzvi, but the land of Yumi was raised for delights.
Delights, Sha'ashueha, right? Delights. Very good. Amra Rakas. Said Rakas, Ki Avda Klei Chemdasa. When it lost its special keli.
It's beautiful. So this is supposed to be a kasha, right?
This is another proof that Rakas is Tveria.
Well, it's a proof.
It's
that
an
it is.
alternate, right? It's we didn't like what we just said, so we. I'm just
Yeah,
It's
said that
proof,
Rakas
but
is-
it's still the same point. It's still Rakas is
Yeah,
okay.
it's still the same point that
Oh,
Rakas
fine.
is
Okay,
Tveria.
that's it. Fine. I thought it was absurd.
Kinoch nafshu ruzeh pasach lehu
Oh,
savdana.
me okay. I didn't look at it.
Eretz Shinar har v'yolda
Oh,
tzvi.
no,
Gilush
no,
hasho
no,
ino
that
Amar
was
Rakas
last
ki
time.
avda klei chemdasa. Ki avda klei chemdasa.
So we're talking about Tveria and it says Rakas. Yeah.
Okay, and I think Ella Amar Rava, but we mean Rava because it's in parentheses. Ella Amar Rava, so rather Rava said Chamazu Chamei Grar. When we talk about Chamas in the pasuk, we talk about Chamei Grar. Rakas zu Tveria, Kineres zu Ginusar, Veloma Nikro Shema Rakas. And why was Tveria called Rakas? Shafilu Reikonin Shaba Malayan Mitzvahs Keriman.
Even the lady
Even I don't want to say the lady gays, the empty ones, the ones who weren't full. Art school says sinners?
Mm-hmm. And
Right.
the ones I just
The empty ones, they were Malay mitzvahs kariman. They were full of mitzvahs like a riman. Rabbi Yirmiyah Omar, Rakas Shema. Rabbi Yirmiyah says, actually, Rakas is the name. So why did it have the name Tveria? Sheyosheves b'tiburo shel Eretz Yisrael. Because it sits in the middle. Tibura means middle, Pashas, navel, but which is in the middle of Eretz Yisrael. Rabba Omar, Rakas Shema. Rakas was named, V'lama Nikra Shema Tveria. Why was it called Tveria? Shetoiva Re'isa. Tveria is a play on words. Shetoiva, that was good. Re'isa, those that saw it, seeing it was good, was very gishmak. Shetoiva Re'isa.
Or that it looked good.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked very good.
A nice city.
Then